moment of truth. Can I be heard? Oh, I hope so. And as always, if Esk says no, then yes, I can be heard. Awesome. How's everyone doing? Hopefully everyone's having a decent week. I do see that I'm not the only one homesick today, but the voice works, so I feel like this would be a good use of time. Get some casting in, especially since the last time we did a CPL cast that was purely requests, the matches were complete bangers. And so I'm kind of skipping a step of trying to keep up with the normal weekly chunks and just going straight into the requests because we got a flood of requests and I want to make sure we stay on top of those, especially as we're nearing the completion of this CPL season. Oh no, an ad. Screw that. Hold on, I gotta pause this ad. I don't know how to do it. I figured it out last night. There we go. Snooze. No. I'm sorry. I don't know why this is happening. I can't even hit the snooze ad button. Okay, so it's there, but I can't do it. So if you're being if you're being added right now, sorry, use a Prime sub. It'll get right around it. So anyway, the thing is we're coming to the end of the CPL 12 season, and I really want to make sure that we get the best matches in front of everybody, that they do get the attention that they deserve, and so I'm focusing on requests. So today what we've got going on is we're gonna cast these in order of tiers. And so we're gonna be representing tier 4, 3, and 1 today. So we're gonna kick it off with Moon versus, how I like to pronounce it, joloxoxo. That's gonna be a PvP tier 4. And then we're gonna have Strawberry versus Arcadio. This is gonna be a ZVZ, and that is gonna be tier 4 as well. And then we're gonna start going up the tiers. So we got tier 3 being Minirennac as Protoss against GeforceTesla as Terran. And then finally, we're going to finish it off with a tier 1 match between Killa Ace as Zerg and Grast as Protoss. So very, very exciting, very, very fun. I'm looking forward to it. And also, I can't, be a sleazy SKU advertiser if I don't thank everyone for the support, for being able to launch the money tournaments over in Starcraft Underground. It's been absolutely huge. So if you do have a Prime sub, no need to give your own money, but like if you already have Amazon Prime, a Prime sub is free and it would drastically help these tournaments. And we are at the beginning of a new month, so if you did have one, it may have expired. So just a friendly reminder. Okay, so we have to do the anthem, but we also have breaking news. We have breaking news, so we got to make sure we do the breaking news. I think that this is going to be really exciting for everyone. This is a particularly special breaking news broadcast, and I think it's going to have big impacts, and I think that everyone is going to be talking about it for a long time. And so without further ado, let me go ahead and do the breaking news, then we'll do the anthem, and we'll get right rocking into it because I think this is actually going to be a pretty long cast with some of these matches. So let me see if I can make sure all the audio and everything is looking good. And yeah, here we go. That's right, Manshark. What we're about to discuss is probably the biggest subject and biggest story that has hit the StarCraft community, especially the amateur scene, in quite some time. I am very excited to announce this breaking news to everybody, and I am sure that others are going to be talking about it, sharing the information. It'll be a commonplace conversation around the dinner table, the breakfast table, at the supermarket, talking to the cashier, wherever you may be. So, without further ado, let us go ahead and reveal.
You don't deserve to settle, so play a game that won't either. We've introduced major changes to agents, weapons, and maps, and this is just the beginning. For the past 5 years, we made a promise to defy the limits, and we plan to keep it by bringing you new content, adjusting what's not working, or even reinventing things altogether. Most importantly, this is a competitive tactical shooter, where abilities are there to help your gunplay shine, not to hog the spotlight. So we've made some changes to cut down on overall utility impact. Because when the odds are stacked against you, it should be your crispy aim and positioning that gives you a stronger fighting chance or the edge. And for maps, that's your playground, which means they should be as much fun as possible. So we've made some adjustments based on your play patterns to make it easier to express yourselves on the battlefield. The Valorant team is dedicated to growing better right alongside our players. And if that sounds good to you, come play.
Nope, not your classic nugs at all. Crispy chicken nuggets from Taco Bell.
Was absolutely huge. And I'm very glad and fortunate to have been able to report on this with you today. Anyways, that's going to be it for breaking news today. Back to you, Manshark. Absolute insanity. All right, so we're not going to dwell on that too much. I don't want to take up too much more airtime talking about this story. But as you can tell, like, the impacts are going to be huge, and I think everyone's going to be very excited for it. So anyway, let us go on and get into the CPL anthem. So everyone, please stand up, hand over your heart, and get ready to show respects to the CPL community that we all love and hold dear.
Winners rise and losers fall, reflexes sharp, minds and floor. Gamers play, this never ends. CPL, will legends play. CPL, we fight tonight. Let us sing the storyline. From the shadows to the deep, we are the Coach-Pupil League. We are the Coach-Pupil League.
Shaw! All right. We've been streaming for like 12 minutes now, and we haven't watched any Starcraft, which is freaking not okay. So let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to go from top to bottom. We're going to do Moon and joloxoxo right off the rip. PvP. First map is going to be on Polestar, which I think is going to be a trend through all of this. So let's go ahead and get it started. And I need to make sure desktop audio is on. I made a big mistake about that casting last night. And I need to do the scoreboard and all this crap. Look at this colors. Please be top bottom. Oh, thank God. Okay, well, go ahead and watch joloxo and XO mine for a second while I get the scoreboard all up and looking pretty. Okay, so we've got our first player is going to be Moon, Protoss. I'm not going to put team names or anything. I don't remember what they are. joloxoxo, Protoss. I do think, though, Moon is Bargain Bin Bonjwas, and I think YOLO is Big Naturals, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to do Polestar, CPL 12, and Week 10 requests. Okay. Scoreboard should look okay. Now let's go ahead and get into it. So we're in Polestar. We're on a 4-player map. Down here in the bottom right, we've got joloxoxo. Oh, but he changed it. He's YOLO triple XO for his actual gamer tag. And he's going to be our blue Protoss here in the bottom right. In the bottom left, we have our red Protoss. Not Sun, but Moon. Also a streamer, by the way, a CPL streamer. He's been on quite often recently. You should check him out, give him a follow, show him some support. And also, let me know if volume needs to be turned up or anything. Yeah, this is YOLO if he were also Vin Diesel. Triple X, baby. Alright, so we do have a gateway going down here at the ramp for joloxo. Gateway and assimilator here for Moon. So we're going to see 2 gate up against a little bit more of a standard gas opening from Moon. We'll see how aggressive YOLO ends up deciding to get with this. So Moon sees the 2 gate, sees that it is close spawn in, horizontal spawn. here on this map, and it does look like YOLO. He might be YOLOing one of these probes straight over across the map and getting a first scout as well, which I think will benefit him if he does decide to go for a little bit more of an aggressive opening. We'll see if he starts pumping out zealots. We do have one. No, we don't. We have one being built here for Moon. So a lot of the cash going into getting the production up and running prior to producing the units. So he's going to have 2 coming across the map here shortly. But it looks like Moon's getting his own second gateway as of right now as well. So I think Moon's going to be fine. He's going to have the Dragoons out earlier. But what I do think is if YOLO ends up throwing down more gateways, there may be an opportunity to overwhelm early on. But we're just going to have to see. This is just looking pretty standard as of right now. I need to quickly turn on streamer mode in Discord because it is going crazy. So give me a second while I figure out how to do that. Oh, that was easier than I thought it was. Okay. Ah! Beat you to it, Esk. Put it back on streamer mode. Okay. So we do have 3 zealots and a probe about to head straight across the map. By the way, we have Moon with a cheeky little probe up here behind the mineral line. Not entirely sure what YOLO is planning on doing. He did bring him out here to the natural, the choke here, but he hasn't committed. Okay, so it does look like he's about to push across towards Moon. Now, Moon already has 3 zealots of his own, now a 4th sitting here at the ramp. And what does he have going on here? Cybernetics core. Almost as unprofessional as Rice Hat. I don't know if Rice Hat's unprofessional, but his stream trolls him. His stream will play a jingle anytime someone messages the chat, which is so much fun. All right, so this is not really an engagement that YOLO wants to take. 5 zealots to 3. And YOLO correctly recognizes that, bounces off the zealots here at the ramp, and is going to go ahead and take them home. So YOLO's now getting up on gas, has his cybernetics core out, and both players really kind of evened out on their tech. Okay, just more pylons going down here for Moon, more zealots for YOLO. I think YOLO's just a little bit behind when it comes to army production, but we haven't really seen... Oh, here we go. Citadel of a Dune. So let's go ahead and see if YOLO ends up going straight up into Templar tech, getting those Dark Templar out on the field, or if he uses it primarily for Zealot legs and tries to potentially like add some gateways and overwhelm with Zealot Dragoon mix. Now, Moon, on the other hand, does have Dragoon range being researched, has a forge being built to get those key upgrades, and I also vaguely remember seeing... I don't see it now, but I think he was thinking about producing a robotics facility, which means he threw down the robotics facility, canceled it, and instead put down a forge. And I think that is not going to be ideal if we start getting DTs heading across the map from YOLO. All right, here we go. Now, right now, YOLO's attack is not really set up for success. There's just not enough here. He does get an early jump on Moon's Zealots, though, and so really getting a little bit more damage done than would have been expected on paper. So, I mean, 2 Dragoons, 3 to 2 Zealots, not bad. Now, Moon looking to start getting established here at his expansion. YOLO doing the same. Moon, I believe, seeing it. Yes, indeed he does. Indeed he does. And we have our first Dark Templar about to hit the field. Okay, so what are we going to do about it? Okay, so there's the robotics facility. We're not quite there yet in getting observers, but we have cannons. So cannons is the anti-DT tool of choice here for Moon. So he should be safe because there's really no... we don't have any shuttles or anything out just yet for YOLO. And yeah, we haven't seen an expansion yet for Moon. We're going 3rd gateway. So I wonder if this cannon was actually intended for DT spotting? I would imagine so. DT spotting, counter drop defense, or if it's also serving like a double or triple purpose of just continuing to make sure this is sealed so that Moon doesn't have to expose that he doesn't have an expansion. Ah, but I take all that back. He's about to throw one down. Or maybe not. Okay, so actually I think the misdirection might be the play here. Throw down a bunch of gateways, make it look like you might have an expansion, but instead try to really just up that production and hit with a timing attack. Robo facility is going down here, and we've got 3 DTs. Okay, so here's the thing. We've got 1 cannon. 3 DTs can kill a cannon super, super fast, but the problem is there's also a huge army here. So if these DTs, you know, freaking bebop their happy invisible asses too close, these Dragoons are just gonna freaking smoke them. Oh, but he's going for the... Oh, ah! Okay. Just barely survives. 14 health on that DT. And the DTs are going to have to go home. Sad. What I would like to see these DTs do is go check like these third base locations and serve double as scout and anti-probe. But he might actually load them up in a shuttle and send them across that way. Which if he does, he might be in a pretty good spot. Now there is an observer popping out, but depending on where this observer ends up getting placed, I don't know. So I think we're not done with the DT plays yet. Robotics support bay going down for both players. Reavers, baby. That's what we're here for. This is why we watch PvP. And it looks like somebody got supply blocked. When you see, you know, 19 freaking blue Pokeballs floating around a Protoss base, you know they're all pylons. And that there was an oh shit. I don't know what the narrator says when that happens, but it's just like, not sufficient psi. Something nerdy like that, something Protossy. Okay, so Moon's army looks pretty big, but both players are equal on supply, almost across the board. Moon, I guess, just popped out a couple more. Starting to get the gateway count up for YOLO. I want to keep an eye on where these DTs went. Okay, it looks like we are loading them up in shuttles. Okay, now here comes an engagement. A lot of Dragoons here. Now there is an observer in play as well. If we can get that observer and keep an eye, yeah, the cannon. Okay, so if that observer isn't careful and the cannon ends up sniping it, these TTs could actually get out or even cut off the retreat when the reinforcements of Moon and do a ton of damage. But instead, it looks like we're taking this moment as YOLO, and we're going to YOLO these DTs straight up into the main, but we need to watch out for the cannon! Is there any more observers? There's no additional observers. Oh my gosh, the shuttle dies! What? That's so frustrating for YOLO. If that shuttle got in, there could have been some serious opportunities to put Moon on the back foot. Cannon gets knocked out here at the natural. This engagement overall not going well for YOLO. I know if I was YOLO, I'd probably be just throwing things right now. Okay. Now, it looks like YOLO has stabilized a little bit. He lost a few probes there, I think. But nothing too serious. The problem is that we're going to have this huge wave. And you can see there the dip of supply, right? Like after that shuttle went down full of DTs, that was a pretty hefty investment that didn't get a return, right? Didn't pay off. So here comes Moon again, charging in for wave number 2. And there's no DTs, there's no drop that's going to be sneaking out of the base this time, and there's an observer up here to make sure of it. Now, YOLO's doing a lot of damage here, though. He's got +1 weapons, so does Moon. But the Zealots getting up on top of these Dragoons have been able to really help with this defense. Now, all the cannons have been schwacked, though. So right now, we're sitting at 2 Dragoons to a bunch. Not looking good for YOLO. Having to pull the boys. One last-ditch effort. He didn't hear no whistle. Fight until the end, and there it is. There's the end. G is called, and Moon is going to take game number 1. I really like that game because it was sitting on a knife's edge, and that knife was the shuttle. If that shuttle... Oh, crap. We're about to party again. Sorry. If that shuttle had gotten in with all those DTs, it could have been an absolute massacre. Because YOLO had enough to hold that first wave, but just not the second one. So let me go ahead and update the scorecard here. We're going to go ahead and give Moon 1 map win. And let's go into game number 2. Right. Game number 2. It's going to be on Eclipse. 2-player map. Still PvP. And Moon is sitting with 1 map win. So here we are on Eclipse. Up here in the top right, we've got YOLO, our blue Protoss, who just tried to do a DT run-in, but there was a cannon there just in time. And then tried to circle around with DTs in a shuttle and just barely didn't get them out, as there was a couple of Dragoons that were chilling at the rally point at the top of the ramp. So a little unfortunate there for YOLO. Now we've got Moon, who's coming off of a victory, really just sticking to fundamentals, getting Zealots, getting Dragoons, and hitting a move into the opponent's base. The Protoss way in the bottom left. So much fun. I'm still reeling over the breaking news story. That was insane. I hope you guys, like, make sure you clip it, share it. I think people would be interested. Pretty excited about all of it. And don't forget, Prime subs. They get you past ads. Alrighty. Moon sending a probe across the base. We've got YOLO up here in the top right. And he's going to be throwing down a gateway here at the ramp, same as Moon right now. Both players doing the same thing, which is what we come to love about mirror matches, is who can do the same thing better. Beautiful. A second gateway from YOLO. Now, he did this last time as well. He was really late on the gas. He sent those 3 Zealots across the map, and luckily for him, last game he got that first scout. And the Zealots still kind of showed up a little bit late. We saw that Moon was able to have a sufficient defense here at the ramp. He had 5 Zealots blocking it. He had done the same thing, got the assimilator, got the core, was going into Dragoons earlier, faster than YOLO. And holy cow, thanks for the subscription, Rennick. Yeah, 100% of it goes to Starcraft Underground tournaments. Currently signing up for number 3. Oh, so much fun. Thank you again. So, I'm curious to see how this Zealot pressure goes this time. Because the point I was trying to make earlier with last game, him getting the first scout, is that he still hit as fast as he felt he could. Now, I think it could have gotten there quicker. And we might be seeing that this time. But no, it looks like we're getting the Cybernetics core. He's going to undoubtedly be throwing down an assimilator here in a second. And we might see just a little bit of a slower play. So, maybe he won't run across. He did wait until he had 3 last time, though. And he might still do it just to keep Moon honest, right? Like, he came in here with his probe. He saw this Zealot. He saw this probe chilling at the ramp. He may still come down with the Zealots just to make sure nothing's going down at the natural. Like, he doesn't have to commit with them. He can head down with them and just check things out. Says me, someone that like has never played Protoss ever. It sounds like it makes sense, right? So the assimilator's up, but no gas being collected as of yet. This tells me maybe he's not thinking about going Dragoons right now. Okay, so he does get the gas collecting. And we're chilling. We're chilling, everybody. Bing chilling. Delicious. Delicious coffee. Probably not the best thing for my stomach, though. I am homesick today. Was yesterday, too. I don't know. I feel like my household has just been going through, like, this cycle of a plague. Like, after the holiday season, kids went back to school. They brought every single disgusting sickness home with them. It's been amazing. Super amazing. Alright, so we've got Dragoons. We're going second gate now for our red Protoss. Forge is also up. We saw this pay off last game. He went the Forge. He built a single cannon down here at the natural. He also started getting the updates, or not updates, upgrades. And, yeah, we've got blue Protoss heading across. Okay. So it looks like YOLO's about to expand. He has thrown down a pylon. It looks like Moon might be thinking to do the same, but this probe might actually get sniped here. He does throw the cannon down. So it seems like Moon is a big fan of the safety cannon in this build, which makes sense, right? Solid anti-DT defense. He keeps his army parked here at the choke. But what we are seeing is that this does put Moon a little bit behind when it comes to expansion timing. Red getting a third gateway. Blue does have a superior force here with 3 Dragoons and 5 Zealots. He could probably easily overwhelm this before the cannon gets up, but I guess that window of opportunity has kind of been lost. Oh no, oh, he's being aggroed in! Piecemeal! Get back! Alright, we lost one G-House fan, and now Blue is continuing to rally units across the map. Now, we are at a little bit of a gateway deficit. The Forge just now going down for YOLO. We still haven't seen any kind of creative tech yet. We haven't seen robotics facilities go down. We haven't seen any Templar tech. Ooh, but it looks like YOLO is going to be able to get this Zealot here for seemingly free. Moon might be trying to get a scout out on the map, see what's going on with his opponent, and YOLO is getting that expansion up earlier. And the reason he's able to do that is because of the cannon and the additional gateway that was thrown down from our red Protoss. I have no idea what's going on in chat, but Gooseheaded, it's great to see you. Alright, this is a bunch of Dragoons. Many more than YOLO has. He's a little bit out of position now. There may be an opportunity for Moon to push out and take this little batch piecemeal, but it does look like YOLO is going to be able to consolidate his force. Now, well, I'm curious now, like, okay, what direction do we go now? Oh, we see Pokeballs. And there's the supply block. You always know it's the case. It's either a gateway explosion or an oh shit moment. Whenever I get supply blocked, I just send my army in. Cleans it up real quick. But when I play Zerg, like, I just can't make that many hatcheries because Overlords suck. They don't kill anything, so I don't make them. But you can build a lot of hatcheries. Okay. Little undefended back at home. We got 4 gateways. We do have the robotics facility up now. Getting +1 melee. Yo, Moon's army is just going to walk straight into this base. Now, this can open him up to a counterattack. Are we going to see a base trade scenario, or is YOLO going to come running home? I hope it's a base trade. It's not. It's not. YOLO's going to come back. Now, this is probably the right idea. No, it's not the right idea. Because Moon doesn't have a natural. There's nothing here. If he went in and just started murking everything, he'd be up in the main killing his only source of income. Right now, Moon, stuck in the natural, using all of his forces to kill that Nexus. Now, Moon's army is trapped here with Defender's advantage and the size of YOLO's force. He's gonna clean this up and be at an advantage. But the Nexus did fall. Yeah, I want to see YOLO across the map now. He does have a shuttle. He's starting to get Reaver tech. Meanwhile, over for Moon, he has a robotics facility as well, but I don't see Reaver tech on the map. And he is expanding. I like that move. I like that move right there. Knock out his Nexus, get your own. But the thing is, he also needs to reconstitute his army. But he does look like he has all 3 of his gateways pumping. Okay, and YOLO comes back down here. Kind of reestablish a contain. I imagine YOLO might misinterpret how much Moon has with this commit. Moon has about as much as YOLO. But he does need to come in here and probably get some damage done after losing his natural. Oh man! At first I was unsure if the attack was a good idea, but then after the attack was so successful, I feel like he should have pressed the issue. Empty shuttle flying around. Oh no! Okay. We saw the shuttle die last game. Please don't fly here. Now, YOLO back home is starting to get Reavers. He's also getting a Citadel. Meanwhile, Moon is pumping up the gateway count. YOLO's reestablishing his natural, getting a cannon up this time. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Where are we going to go? What's this shuttle going to do? What can 2 Dragoons do? Taking bets. 3 probes? 5 probes? Gets shot down en route? I do not know. Let's find out. I want to see how much damage this gets. Alright, so that started with 1, that started with 4. That's at least 2. So we started at 5 total, we're at 9. Not bad. I think we got 5 probes for that. Also hitting the front. Yeah, trying to bait him to retreat was a good call. Didn't work out, though. Tried to hit the front. The army was disciplined. Stayed here at the choke. But you know what? The shuttle got away with the Dragoons, so I think that is definitely helpful. Now, a little bit vulnerable to a counterattack, but we should have a Reaver back home. I don't think this is necessary, but I love it because it's fun. We got 5 cannons going down, 1 for each Dragoon. And we have the Reaver up here. Saying hi to the probes. Keeping them company. Got a couple observers flying ahead of the main army here for Moon. Moon consolidating his forces, starting to get out on the map a little bit. So far, it's been YOLO with the initiative, with the exception of Moon sneaking around and getting that natural kill earlier on. Keep in mind this shuttle's still out here. I might miss it. I want to keep an eye on that blue dot on the mini-map. Okay. This isn't going to be penetrated by this. I don't know, though. Things have penetrated things that I didn't think would in my past. So I'm not the best gauge of that. Got 4 gateways. We've discontinued Reaver production. We're up to 7 gateways for Moon. Right now, I think Moon is ahead. And it reflects on the supply, too. He's got less workers, bigger army count. I like that he's got an observer up here keeping an eye on the 3rd base. So he doesn't have to be completely out here containing. He can get early warning if he sees a probe come up here, while also protecting the main avenue of approach to his own base. Right now for upgrades, we're at 1-1 for our blue Protoss. For our red, we're at 1-0. +1 armor is just now starting. Okay, and now YOLO's getting a 2nd Reaver. Now, I imagine YOLO is a little confused here because he clearly thought there was going to be a big attack, a big push coming his way. He threw down a gajillion cannons. He clogged up his choke. He brought his Reaver down, and then nothing showed up. So what now, right? What's the next decision? He's been using it to continue building Reavers, continuing to tech up, and Moon is taking this opportunity of the standstill to go set up another expansion. Sure, we'll be seeing that somewhat soon. This shuttle is still out here. I do believe that the probes, when they went up over here to the 9-ish o'clock, did see that shuttle. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point we saw Moon maybe try to go chase that down, or maybe keep a couple things over here to defend a drop. Wow, those Dragoons fit through this. There it is. There's the gap. Pretty big army here from Moon. Moon taking his third base. Oh, and here comes the shuttle. 2 Dragoons. Let's see what you can do. And I mean, he might be just, you know, one, checking out what's going on in the base, scouting, keeping Moon's attention, keeping some forces back at home. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he were to drop these Dragoons. I'd like him to come up here, start scouting these other bases with this shuttle. Drop the Dragoons to prevent the expansions, and then go home and get these Reavers. I know he's got a couple on the map. There's another one up here. I think it's struggling to get around this. Because the last time we saw a Reaver come down the ramp, it like bebopped all the way through. Yeah, the pathing is really struggling here. So we do have 3 Reavers on the field for YOLO. He's going to probably drop these Dragoons, pick up the Reavers. Might be seeing a 4th base here for Moon going up. All right, now here we go. Here comes the engagement. Moon moving in from the high ground, picking off a ton of Dragoons here at the front line. Now, YOLO needs to be careful about this Reaver. Starting to get targeted down by Moon. It dies right off the bat. And this Sim City not proving helpful to YOLO, as the Reavers are caught up there walking for 500 miles. And Moon is starting to just push right through. He has so much mass now. There are a lot of cannons here. If these Reavers can get down into the fight, then they can start pummeling all these Dragoons through these cannons with their Scarabs. But I don't think that they're going to make it in time. Oh my gosh, the cannons are just being obliterated. And now finally the Scarabs are starting to be lobbed into this force. You can see the Dragoons dropping left and right, but there's just not enough chaff in front of the Reavers, and they get targeted down, and there's the GG. That's going to be a 2-0 victory for Moon, who, by the way, is a streamer, and you should check him out. Support your CPL streamers. All right, so that's going to give him a 2-0 victory over YOLO. It's going to bring us into our next series, which is Strawberry versus Arcado, which isn't that, not that folder, not that folder. Not that. Hey, Moon, thanks for the follow, my man. We just watched you. All right, here we go. We got ZVZ. All right, so buckle up. Pay attention. Don't blink, because it might go fast. We're going to be on Polestar. And let's go ahead and get into it. I got to fix the scorecard, though. The scorecard, we got Strawberry. Thank goodness they didn't mess up their tags. Versus Arcadio. Now, I've never seen Arcadio play. So this is a first for me. I've seen Strawberry play a couple times. I think we casted some Strawberry games during preseason. So here we are. Strawberry, also known as Strawbles, up in the top right of Polestar. And we've got Arcadio in the top left. That is a fun fact, Moon. Gotta take care of your health. Alright, we're about to see Overlord's Kiss here at the 12 o'clock as they pass each other, scouting each other's opponent, or each opponent's base. Now, luckily for them, they are going to be able to scout. They're going to immediately know where their opponent is once those Overlords cross paths. So we might get a really dynamic early aggression game. Now, right now, we're kind of hitting that point where we're at 9 supply for both players. Going to see what kind of direction they go. We got 9 pool and extractor going down for Strawberry. And it looks like we're droning up a little bit more for Arcadio. Might be going into a 12 pool. Alright, the Overlords slowly, so slowly, pass each other. Off to go gather intel. Hi, Grast. Alright, so instead of 12 pool, we do go into a hatchery first. It's a 12 hatch here for Arcadio. This is going to give him a larva advantage early on. And right now what we see from Strawberry is him trying to collect gas. We'll see if this goes straight into lair or if he starts with speed. Does end up kicking it off with speed here. But if he does continue to go up to lair, we may see one of those ZVZs where it's a race between, can the Zerglings annihilate the opponent before the Mutalisks show out. So we already have Zerglings coming across the map. Oh no! Strawberry! He's going the wrong way! He must have missed his Overlord seeing the other Overlord. Strawberry's Overlord is also now here in the base, and he finally identifies that the top left is the correct destination. He's going to redirect his Zerglings, losing out on precious seconds there. Arcadio, a little bit concerned about this. His spawning pool only just now finishing. He's going to be throwing down a couple Sunkens in the main. So I think he's prepared to give up this natural, which is really unfortunate. This might have been a little bit of a gamble. Yeah, he goes ahead and cancels that right off the bat. And right now, Strawberry looking extremely favored, but there are 2 Sunkens here. So is he going to be able to conserve his Zergling count? Got a little Zergling fight going up here by the extractor. Now this Sunken colony cannot defend the extractor or the spawning pool. But Strawberry sending his Zerglings into the drones ends up losing the rest of his Zerglings. He probably could have knocked out this spawning pool, I think. Or at very least the extractor. And that would have set Arcadio back to the Stone Age. But Strawberry going up into his lair. Getting an Evo chamber. And getting his Zerglings. He did do a lot of damage. He forced that cancel down here. Killed a bunch of Zerglings. I think he might have gotten 1 or 2 drones. And so Arcadio gonna go ahead and expand down here in the bottom left. A little bit of a ninja expansion. And we do have the Overlord still sitting over Strawberry's base, so he's not blind to what's going on with Strawberry. And he knows that Mutalisks are there's a clock, right? Alright, more Zerglings sneaking their way in here from Strawberry. Oh, and he's going to try to target down this Sunken. There's 2 of them engaging right now. This third one not in the fight. And and he pulls back. 40 health left on that Sunken. Might have been able to get it down, but probably wouldn't have been worth it. I'm not actually opposed to him pulling back. Because if he gets it down, then what, right? There's 2 more Sunkens. There's still a bunch of Zerglings. He would have lost all the Zerglings that he sent. Right now, he thinks he has him back on 1 base, and he's comfortably going Spore. Okay, he should be getting Spire here soon. There's the Spire. The Spore is a really interesting choice. He knows what Arcadio has. I think that feels like a the eBay Spore build felt a little bit scar tissue-y. Like, I don't know. Every time I play this matchup, I always get muted. Alright, we got some Zerglings sneaking around here from Arcadio. And we've got Hydra. Oh, I totally missed we're seeing Hydralisks here. Okay, so he knows that the mutas are coming. Instead of going Spore colonies, he's going into Hydralisk as the anti-air defense here. Now, he only has a couple of them, and he needs to be careful. Zerglings getting on top of them can shred some Hydras. Going into layer himself. Ninja base still unidentified. And the Zergling count here for Strawberry really started to build up. Now, one thing I didn't point out was these Hydras did actually supply block Strawberry pretty significantly when they popped out and killed that Overlord. So, gets the supply block and also denies him additional intel. Now, this is what I was talking about. The Zerglings pretty dang efficient in high numbers against Hydralisks. But this has already been a complete banger of a match. Glad for the request on this one. In the last one, too. I'm not implying that one wasn't. Alright, we got a single Hydra. Single Hydra, 3 Sunkens. Where are we when it comes to Muta production? We got a single Muta being produced here for Strawberry. You can see, you know, this might be the point where you start adding another hatchery. He's being limited by his larva count. Oh, and these Zerglings! It's going to have free reign on these drones. One goes down. Nice little micro there from Arcadio. Can he get a second? He gets a second, he gets a third! Now the Muta's going to come out and start cleaning this up. He's attacking his own hatchery, unfortunately. Oh no! Okay, he does redirect it, but he's down to 6 drones to the 16 of Arcadio. Right now, Arcadio is looking pretty dang ahead. He's also getting his own Spire. But he has really scrapped back some ground lost early on against Straubles. Now he's starting to build military units out of this this bottom left, which he's going to need, but he needs to also be a little bit careful about exposing this base. So he needs to be careful how he moves them out. Maybe just mass them there and then bring them out all at once. A couple more creep colonies being thrown down. Zergling's not able to get past these Sunkens, allowing Arcadio to tech up without any type of interference. 2 more Mutas being built for Strawberries. 1 flying across the map. Even Overlords flying across the map. Everything flying across the map. But here come the Hydras. I don't see Hydras a lot in ZVZ. This is refreshing. Got a Spore colony down. Right now, this feels like a pretty solid, secure hardpoint for our Zerg. Now, it looks like he might be trying to group these Zerglings up. He's got some more Zerglings out on the field. And this is one of those things where he's doing this to prevent a ninja base. And he's doing that because he took his own ninja base. He's like, well, if I did it, maybe they'll do it too. So I'll put some Zerglings over here to make sure they don't play like me. Okay, Zerglings running in, not really able to get much damage in on this Sunken. Muta's coming in. There's only 4 of them, but there's only a couple Hydras here. But don't forget how powerful Spores are. Spores are super strong. Pretty tough for Mutas to take out unless you have a critical mass. And this army is starting to look pretty scary. Pretty scary. Strawberry just now trying to take his expansion. Oh my gosh, how far along is this going to be? Hopefully he can get the cancel. We'll pay attention to the minerals here, see if it goes down or if he gets the cancel on it. Oh man, he loses it. He gets killed. You can see the Mutas scrambling back. There's no Sunkens here to protect. This looks like it might be GG. This is too much. He's going to lose all these drones. The Mutas are coming back, but the Hydralisk count is high enough to just start shredding these little winged shrimp. Oh, we're down to 2. We're down to 1 drone. All the drones are dead, and there's the GG. Gosh dang, man. ZVZ. Freaking wild, bruh. Freaking wild. So Arcadia's going to take that one. GG's to both players. Let's go ahead and give him a map win on our handy-dandy scorecard. Let's go into map number 2. All right. Map number 2. This is going to be on Eclipse. All right, here we are on Eclipse. 2-player map. We've got Arcadio up here in the top right is our blue Zerg, who just came back from... I thought he was dead. Like, early on, I thought he was just smoked. But he came back and ended up winning it with Hydras and Lings that he had kind of hidden down throughout the map. So I'm wondering if in this game, Straubel's, like, checked the replay in between the matches and kind of saw, okay, Arcado, he'll take a ninja. You know? And so we might see a little bit of different Overlord kind of placement and stuff like that going into this match. But anyway, down here in the bottom left, we have our red Zerg Straubels, whose strategy was, you know, race up to Mutalisks. I think one of the things that kind of impacted the amount of damage he was able to do and the timing of those Mutalisks arriving versus the arrival of the Hydralisks was he played pretty defensive. He got that evolution chamber and that spore colony before he had gone into air, even though he had his lair for a long time. What are we seeing? We're seeing a 5-pool, ladies and gentlemen, from Straubels. Straubels not looking to take all day in these matches. 9-pool here from Arcado. Now, I believe I've heard this before, that 9-pool beats 5-pool. Yeah, I'm seeing in the chat too. This should favor blue. So let's go ahead and see how this ends up going. But we're about to see a banger. Big old banger. We do have a extractor going down now, and this is part of why I think it favors blue. Blue's going to be able to get that Zergling speed, not be terribly behind on Zergling count by the time that the 4-pool or 5-pool Zerglings arrive. Now, they are almost halfway done, and we're going to be seeing the spawning pool finish up just momentarily. And so if Arcado turns all these into Zerglings, he should be sitting pretty. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and follow these for a second. Oh, man. Where are they going? Oh, he's getting out of the sight of the Overlord. That's some ZVZ thinking right there. So he goes around. We got Zerglings going straight through the Overlord. Okay, so what is this? How do you react to this as Strawberry? Strawberry sees the Zerglings coming towards his base, sending his Zerglings in. We're going to see a base trade scenario. He's keeping his Zerglings back. He's going to start clogging up the ramp. We also have a drone coming across. All right, now the Zerglings are in. The Zerglings are in for Straubels. Let's see what the micro and the defense looks like with the drones. It doesn't look like they're fighting back. They are falling so fast. Meanwhile, at the ramp, the drone taking a lot of hits. Ends up dying. We're at 3v3 Zerglings down here at Strawberry's base. But now, 2 are in the base. But there's 0 drones left for Arcado. Ends up canceling the lair, which is an interesting choice. By the way, if you let the lair finish, it's actually got more health than a hatchery. Arcado's like, nice one. GG, go next. And Strawberry is going to take game number 2. Now that was a textbook ZVZ. Under 4 minutes, lots of Zerglings, lots of excitement. And now we are going to get a game 3 because of it. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Clever move there to go around the Overlord. That's probably standard, but that really is what allowed Strawberry to win that game. And then also the sense to not run back when he went underneath, or when he saw the Lings from Arcado go underneath his Overlord. If anything, it seems like that fell right into Strawberry's plan. He was like, sweet, no one's home. Let's do this. All right, game number 3 is going to be on Polypoid. All right, we're sitting at 1-1 match point. The winner of this is going to win the series. Arcado going to be in the top right. Strawberry in the bottom left. I think it's fitting the Strawberry is showing up as red in all these matches. I like it when the world lines up that way. Now, Eclipse was a 2-player map. This one's back to a 4-player map. And so when we're looking at what, yeah, it does seem like they're always cross spawn. When we think about, well, actually no, the first map they were horizontal spawn. But anyway, when it comes to strategies, I don't think we're going to see a 4-pool or 5-pool this time. We didn't see kind of that level of aggression on the 4-player map. And I think that Strawberry pulled that out because Eclipse, you know, he knew where his opponent was. So if we try to think back on game number 1 and what we saw Strawberry kind of go towards the Mutalisk play, right? We saw that. And then we saw Arcado end up, he did hatchery first in game 1. And so he ended up being put on the back foot when all the Zerglings arrived, knocked out his natural, and he ended up making a bunch of sunken colonies, and Strawberry took a few unfavorable trades to the static defense. So, curious to see how this one goes as we see Arcado go straight into a 9-pool. And we have 9-pool and Extractor for Strawberry. So, okay, no. I was curious if we're going to see an Extractor or if we're going to see an additional hatchery and kind of mass ling. If so, then we're kind of at that point where if Strawberry decides to go Mutalisks again, it's that situation, right, where you're going to try to kill him before the Mutalisks can get out in high enough numbers to just ruin your day. So we'll keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Not feeling good, y'all. But the show must go on, especially after that breaking news. Gotta keep that motivation up. Can't slow down. Alright, so we've got 6 lings going, both of them going cross map. Oh no, it does look like Strawberry's gonna be going up here to the top left. Okay, so Arcado is actually gonna be getting straight into the main base here of Strawbles, and Strawberry is going to be ending up going to a dead end. Now he'll know after this that Arcado's up in the top right, but we'll see if he brings these lings back home to help defend first. Does look like that's the play. Yo, what's up, Data? Big Data. Alright, 5 lings in the main. 2 more popping out here for Strawberry. Strawberry getting up into layer. He's going to have to try to protect these drones. One of them goes down. Arcado looking for more drones to kill. Another one goes down. A lot of lost mining time. All the drones are down here hidden behind the map. Oh, and he's going straight for the spawning pool. Okay, there's going to be a point where he might need to pull these drones to start helping with this fight. He does. They come in. They start spitting loogies everywhere. And Strawberry is going to clean it up. The spawning pool not quite down to half health. Meanwhile, back at Arcado, he's turtling up again. He's not pressing the issue. He's going into more sunkens. And he's getting that ninja base. But it's going to be spotted this time. Okay. This is kind of what I wanted to see, or what I was discussing last game, right? Because we saw the ninja base. I was wondering if Strawberry looked at the replay, saw that that was a thing, and if it would change how he does his scouting, etc. It does look like he's being a little bit more diligent about keeping these overlords over these other bases. But yeah, this is looking like a redo of game 1. With the exception that Arcado never expanded to the natural. He skipped that step completely and went to go take a main. Oh gosh, my mouse. Sorry. Okay, we got 4 lings out. 2 more. It's kind of forward scouts. This looks like where he's going to try to regroup. Okay, now this base has been identified. But unfortunately, he's kind of stuck on his ramp at the moment. Can't get out of position because then the lings will run right back in. This is one of those examples of a good defense is a strong offense. Arcado keeping him contained. He's like, yeah, you can look at my expansion all you want, buddy. Go for it. Because you're not going anywhere. Meanwhile, Strawberry's throwing down a couple of creep colonies, getting a lot more lings. And he's going to have to try to break this at some point. Now, he can either... Okay, so maybe he doesn't have to. He could either break it, or he can start going towards Spire. Now, it does look like he's going to break it. So he kills the Zerglings out here at his natural, and we'll see if he goes straight up to the expansion or the main. I don't think he doesn't have any scouting information that the main has static defense. And it looks like he's going to take his Lings and send them to the expansion. Okay, creep colony going down. There's no way this is going to get finished. There's no way. A couple of Zerglings being spawned right now. Did get the cancel, so that was good. Able to save some money. Drone was able to spit on one of these Lings, and this base is going to die. So, now, back on Strawberry's base. The ramp is clogged. He knows while his army is out and about, he needs to prevent any type of run-bys coming in from our Blue Zerg. Blue Zerg going Hydras again. On purpose. I love it. Going up to layer. Oh, he left some larvae. We'll check back up there in a second, see if those larvae get used. Now, a couple decent engagements there from Arcado's Zerglings on the hold position Lings that Strawberry had. Doing a good job of aggroing these guys out. Definitely getting more than he's losing there. And he does! He turns them into drones! Love it! I love it! Now he's going to bounce with these drones because this Overlord is here and he's already lost it. Now we do have Lings in the main base of Arcado. They are in the mineral line trying to get some damage, but there's 3 Sunkens and that just shreds the Lings. They didn't stand a chance. Right now Arcado's still ahead in drones though, 15-9. Getting that layer, has his Hydra Den, and instead is going to expand here at the 12 o'clock here on Polypoid. Okay, so no expansion for Strawberry. Strawberry built his Spore Colony again, has his Spire, and we have the first Muta being morphed. So now's about the time where Arcado needs to start thinking about Hydras. Okay, we got one. Got one Hydra. Lings knock out that Ling here at the natural. Make sure that it can't see any of these Mutas flying around. Now this drone looks like he's going to try to take the main down here, but Strawberry's on top of it this time. He has an Overlord ready to catch any expansion that might be getting thrown down. And he put it in a position... Oh, never mind. The ramp's over here. Disregard. I was going to say he put it in a position where he could see the hatchery go down without being spotted that he's looking. But that's not necessarily the case. Fire Tip, thanks for the follow. I feel like you've followed before. I don't know if you keep leaving and coming back. Regardless, it's good to have you. Alright, so we're going up to potentially 3 bases here for Arcado. We have the Hydralisk out. That has been exposed. And here come the Mutas. There's nothing at home. They're going to have free reign on these drones. Is Arcado going to bring these Hydras back that he's moving across the map? Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's going Overlord hunting. Wants to get that 3rd base up and running. Now, what I'm curious about is, as Strawberry pulls back, if he's going to check these other expansions. Doesn't look that way as of yet. Oh, but he sees the drone pull. He sees the drone transition. Is he going to kill them? Not yet. Now we have this Overlord about to go down to 2 Hydras. This is going to supply block Strawberry. Strawberry's going back into the main. He wants to finish this. Like, I think he saw those drones. But there's tech here, right? And there's static D here. Maybe he can kill this base. Or maybe he just didn't see it, right? Maybe it was all on the mini-map. And he just saw a bunch of blue from what his Mutalisks were seeing already. I still don't... He has not flown over here. Oh my gosh. Look at this. Ah! Just fly over here and kill all the drones. We got 3 Hydralisks still out and about, hunting Overlords. Keeping an eye on this mineral-only base. A couple more Hydralisks coming out. We do have an expansion being thrown down by Strawberry, which is being seen by this cheeky drone hidden behind the mineral line. Yo, he's got to see this, right? Like, the creep is there, but it doesn't show up on the mini-map. Alright, here he goes. Diving in. Evo chamber gets morphed by the first drone that starts getting shot. It gets canceled right off the bat. The drones are taking so much damage. Hunt them down, Strawberry! Kill the drones! Arcado's got so many drones to spare, too. He was at like 19. He's down to 16 now. Mutalisks are coming back to try to knock out this base. I really kind of wish that he had started charging those drones. We got lurkers showing up. Oh my gosh, the lineup here. I hate... There we go. There's a good shot. I hate that those lurkers were hitting like one at a time. Absolutely shredded. The lurkers running in here. They're pretty tanky against these mutaglaves. He's going to park it right behind the mineral line. Get these out of there. Move the drones. Oh, wow. Good reaction time there from Strawberry. Needs to bring these slow overlords back, and he's going to clean up these lurkers. Okay, those 2 lurkers dead. 2 more out here on the map roaming. Meanwhile, this base completely empty of drones. A lot of drones over here. They were sent over here, but they're not mining yet. Oh man, the harassment has been so successful. The 3rd base still hasn't been formed, but the drone is there. Meanwhile, lurker coming back in. This one has 4 kills. So might have actually killed a bunch of drones there. Strawberry's sitting at 8 right now. Alright, he's going to go for this. Look how clumped up they are. Oh, he loses 2. One more lurker spine would have killed like another 4. Oh my god. This is wild. Okay. We've got the Mutalisks. We got 8 of them. 9 of them. Gonna go finish the job they started. Heading up to the 12 o'clock. They're gonna try to knock out this expansion. Meanwhile, Arcado continuing to drone up. He's really low on supply. He's got 3 supply of army. Building a ninja base down here in the bottom right. Losing more drones that are coming out of this hatchery at the 12. Now the Mutalisks looking for economic damage. Looking for the army of Arcado, as opposed to sitting up there and wasting time killing this hatchery. I think that's fine as long as he keeps bouncing back. Trying to be active with these Mutalisks. More Mutalisks here at the natural. Blue drone, still chilling. Oh my gosh, and he's going to come down here to the bottom right and see this hatchery forming. He's going to force the cancel. Yep, okay, so he does force the cancel, ends up killing the drone. Meanwhile, 9 to 12 drones. Arcado supply still very, very low. Does look like he fixed his mining. That might be a factor. Getting some spores and getting his own spire. Okay, so we're looking at what appears to be basically game 1 again. Except this time the natural is up for Strawberry. Okay, the spores are pushing away these mutas. I don't know what the rule of thumb is for mutas taking out spores, but he's got to be approaching it. Okay, flying over this hatchery again. Looks like he's going to go back and finally kill it. More mutas joining the fray. Look at this, another spore colony for Arcado. I love, he makes these, his main base, such a freaking castle. And then just sprinkles undefended hatcheries across the map. Okay, so Arcado has been put back on 1 base. Strawberry's got 2. Strawberry also has an enormous army. He's up 30 supply. There's a lot of sunkens here. There's a lot of spores. So he needs to be careful about how he approaches this. Zergling's getting in here. I think targeting the spores might have been a good idea. Yeah, okay, all the Zerglings die. 1 spore goes down. Not the best trade, I don't think. Loses at least 4 Mutalisks in that advance. But he is at the point economically. I mean, he is down drones, but he's got the 2 bases. He's got the better mining. He's got the larva advantage. I think we're at the point where Strawberry could probably just keep throwing waves at this and end up winning just by grinding Strawberry or Arcado down. Oh my gosh, 2 more creep colonies. One of them replacing the spore that was lost. Here come the Zerglings now. A little bit discombobulated, losing some Zerglings with them not entirely sure of where they're trying to go. And we've got a few beat up Sunkens here. There might be a world where if these Zerglings targeted down these Sunkens, I mean, there's not that many, but if we brought the Mutalisks along, maybe? I don't know. Probably wouldn't be able to get all 3, that's for sure. Oh, I guess there's a 4th one now. Alright, getting another hatchery here. Arcado trying to get that production up and running. Getting some Scourge as well to try to start dealing with this Mutalisk count. Oh, he runs away before sniping the Overlord. And Arcado is slowly decreasing the difference in supply. This is wild, but he's definitely stuck. He's like stuck right here. Hiding all of his air up here in the top right. Getting a 3rd hatchery. Really wants larva. Getting another creep colony. Absolutely wild. Okay, all mineral base going down for Strawberry. I think both players acknowledging that we are about to go into a longer game. A Queen's Nest being morphed here for Strawberry. Might be seeing Hive ZVZ. I don't know what's going on. But what I do love is that Strawberry is not remaining idle with his units. He's all over the map. He's making sure that there's no secret expansions. He's starving out Arcado right now and poking in periodically just to keep him busy and keep his infrastructure down. Now, we do have a big air move out here from Arcado. Arcadio? Please don't waste the Scourge on this. Okay, good. Alright, good. He flies past, uses the Mutalisk to take out the Overlord. It would have been such a feel-bad if the Scourge ended up killing that Overlord. Now, we have a whole bunch of stuff heading over here. We've got 8 Mutalisks. There's 7 here for Arcadio. He leaves the Scourge behind. Potentially an accident. All the Zerglings come over here too, just for good measure. And Strawberry is supply blocked after losing that Overlord. Okay, high-speed chase. Strawberry gets the opening volley. He's got the superior muta count. These mutas need to get the heck out of dodge. Being chased. Here come the Scourge, but there's only 2 of them. But he should be able to at least get one of these. Oh! Good reaction by Strawberry. And Arcadio's Air Force is going to survive another day. Meanwhile, the Zergling count here at the ramp for Arcadio just growing in numbers. Strawbles, for the first time, I think this game has surpassed Arcadio's worker count. Must have done that a little while ago. 21 to 14 now. Now Arcadio regaining some map control with his Mutalisk, going around sniping Overlords like crazy, keeping that supply blocked for Strawberry is going to allow him to continue to close this supply deficit. Got some mutas up here in the top right with the Overlords, a couple Hydralisks in the mix. Overall, I think this is starting to look better and better for Strawberry. We're sitting at Hive. We're getting Greater Spire. If we start seeing Devourers, this has become a campaign mission. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh! The Scourge! Oh no! Don't stop and shoot Zerglings, watch out, the Scourge! Okay, now, Arcadio's gonna be able to break, or at least frustrate these Zerglings chilling here at the ramp, but he needs to get back to the safety of his spores. Look at this, he's aggroing in the Zerglings into these, into the meat grinder. Holy crap. Okay, but Arcadio's still in trouble. We got 3 bases. We're on Hive Tech. We've got Greater Spire. I want to see what he's going to morph and where he's going to morph them. This is beautiful. All right, more Zerglings heading up to the front to replace the fallen heroes. Okay, what do we got? We got Guardians. Yes! Guardians don't give a crap about static D. Static what? Alright, here we go. We got more mutas being morphed. I think this is the beginning of the end here for Arcadio. Drabolos has a lot of minerals too. Sitting at 69 supply, 47, 26 to 13 drones. Lurkers? Holy crap. I love it! I love it so much. But you know what lurkers are bad against? Like, hard counter to lurkers? Guardians. Yup. But there's no overlord. Oh, there is an overlord that made its way over here. And here we go. Here comes the barrage. Oh my gosh. 3 guardians shred these Sunkens so fast. Once the Sunkens are knocked out, those lings are going to come flying in like they owe money. Okay, the mutas do get on top of the guardians though. Not quite enough to kill them. Gonna see a little bit of a micro war here. The spores doing a pretty good job of damaging the mutas for Strawberry. Now only 4 mutas remaining for Arcadio. Here come the lings. They're being committed. I think it might have been a little premature. The Sunkens doing tons of damage. The lurkers are gonna come here to defend. But Strawberry trying to push in here with his Guardian Muta force. Oh my gosh, I am loving this so much. Being a little reckless with the mutas, but he's tasting blood. Like he wants to just get in there. Guardian's taking a ton of damage from the spores, but they're on top of the drones. We're down to 6 drones for Arcadio. Where's behind? Someone said there's lurkers. Oh shit. Oh man. Okay. We got tons of Scourge. Okay, the Scourge are the answer we need for these Guardians. Okay, turns out a very low health Guardian will die to 30 Scourge. Okay, so now we've got the Doom drop. And all of those mutas were recklessly kind of spent up there in Arcadio's base. So these lurkers are going to be able to fly in, get dropped, and do so much damage. Running in with Zerglings. There's only a couple Sunkens here, and they are out of position. There's only 4 drones. This is the last hope for Arcadio right here, and he flies right through the microscope of all these overlords. Oh man, the lurker here. I didn't notice the lurker. Doing its best to try to defend the remaining drones. Down to 1 drone here for Arcadio. Mining gas. And the Zerglings get cleaned up. Here comes the drop. It's happened. It's happening. The Hydras are in the main base. We about to send Strawberry back to the Stone Age. Greater Spire about to die. The Lurkers getting up front. They're going somewhere at least. The Hydras heading up here to go kill this Sunken. Oh, but here come the Mutas. Lurkers a little out of position to defend these Hydralisks from all these Zerglings coming in. I tell you what, though, they're going to kill this Evolution Chamber. Tell you what. Oh, man, the last hope of Arcadio being lost in a pile of bones. Oh, man. You know what I love about this is that this game's not over. It's still going. There are lurkers here hitting the main base. Still 1 drone. We don't have enough to afford a second one either. Spire barely survived. Ah, there we go. We just tripled our drone count. Yeah, you're right, Esk. Fuck that Evo chamber. That one, right there. He's setting up for his own air attack is what he's doing. He's preventing any ability for spores to be made. But here come the Zerglings. Oh no, not the drones! He unburrows the lurker. Alright, we're at 0 drones. We can make 1 more drone for Arcadio. Man, these lurkers, I mean, these Zerglings, they are just trying to find Sunkens to run into. Are they going to kill the Spire? They do. Spire goes down. Lurker here going to try to defend the spawning pool. Does clean it up. Arcadio is effectively dead, but he's not done. He's got lurkers. And where there's a lurker, there's a way. That's what Mom always said. Look at this. He's doing damage. He's killing things. But he does have mutas. Like, all he needs to do is bring the mutas over here, kill this lurker, and I think it's GG. I might speed this up. Let's speed it up a little bit. All right, where does this lurker go? If I had that on a soundboard, I'd be running with it right now. Waiting for an overlord. Get it, lurker! Here come all the overlords, and the lurker dies! Wow, where'd all those mutas come from? Where were they? Like, this whole time. We've got one drone. Arcadio, he ain't hear no whistle. No fat lady saying. This game's not over till I say it is. Alright. Arcadio says, I'm done. Oh, don't make him kill you. Don't make him kill you. Alright, we're going at 4 speed now. Alright. GG's. GG, both players. That was a lot of fun. And that's going to go ahead and give Strawberry the 2-0 victory over Arcadio. Gosh, dang, we're only halfway done with this. Fair enough. Alright, next up we've got Minirennac versus GeforceTesla. And GeForce playing Terran this season. I think historically a Protoss player. Come on. Okay.
I don't understand why these guys play so fast. Are they even looking at their fights? I didn't see them make a single Firebat or Devourer. They didn't even make a Scout or Ghost. They didn't even mind control or use optical flare. Have they even played the campaign? What's the...
I am still not used to that TTS playing. Alright, anyway, we're going to go ahead and go into the next map, and it is going to be Polestar. Alright, who did I say was playing? We had Minirennac playing Protoss. And then we've got GeForce Tesla playing Terran. We are on Polestar. Alright. Score sheet should be looking good over the old mini map there in the bottom left. Now, if we look at the game, we've got our red Protoss Minirennac here in the top left, and we've got our blue Terran GeforceTesla the top right. Now, I became pretty accustomed to watching the ZVZ matchup. This is going to be a little bit of a change of pace. Our first non-mirror match of the day. Getting a nice spread of all the races. I think next the Killa versus Grast match is ZVP. So we'll see a good spread. A little bit of everything. Alright, gateway going down here for our Protoss player. Supply depot. Barracks. Beautiful. Beautiful. What a great day for Brood War. Okay, so we do have refinery going. Everything looking pretty normal. Pretty normal. Sending a scout on 13 here for GeForce. We'll see if he heads over to the top left or if he goes to the bottom right. Bottom right it is. So not going to be getting a first scout. Now, it's not uncommon for TVP for an end scout formation. So we might see GeForce go bottom right and then go back up here. And he'll identify the base on the second scout. Probe heading up to the top right is going to give a first scout for Minirennac. We do have a Marine on the way. Probably be able to shuttle that out, but what he wants to identify is what's going on here with the Terran gas. Second depot on the way. Looks like we might be seeing a factory timing coming up here shortly. There it is. It does look like we are... We only took one off gas. Did we take anything off gas? Yeah. Okay, he adds a third back on gas. So we might be seeing a 2-fact play here from GeForce. Aggressive push from our Terran player. We have Dragoon range on the way. No Zealots were made in this game. We also didn't see an End Scout. GeForce was doing a box scout. So he's going to get the last scout here on the process. And we have a pylon up here at the 12. Ooh. Are we going to see DTs? Maybe. Maybe just proxy gateways? I don't know. 3 Marines out here at the ramp. Gonna probably move down here. Well, I guess he's not gonna try to expand because it looks like he might be going into a 2-fact play, but I don't know. Because I don't see the second factory. I guess we would have to wait a second. Now he's doing this in a method where he's going straight into machine shop. Omitting any type of early vulture play. We got the first Dragoon that comes over, and he's seeing, okay, no expansion, no bunker. What's going on? Oh no, we gotta pull this Dragoon back. Okay, pulls it back before taking hull damage. I want to see what's going on up here at the proxy. Okay, so proxy 2 gate up here at the 12 o'clock. Mini looking to end this game right now. And he even had the probe down here, potentially ready to fake an expansion. He only just took it away after that SCV ran back home. Now, a whole bunch of Marines here. We got 6 Marines. We're pulling some boys. We might be waiting for a tank. We are. As soon as the tank comes out, it's going to be rallied with these Marines. We got the vultures coming too. No identification of this. A third gateway. We have 4 gateways out on the map, but this push is going to be potentially lethal. I agree. I agree, Killer. This is about to get spicy. Now, 3 Dragoons up here at the top. There's no natural to kill. So in order for GeForce to get any success from this, he's going to have to make his way up the ramp. Now, bunker getting thrown down. Oh, but it's going to get knocked out by these Dragoons. No, but they get pushed back by the Marines. Is this going to finish? The tank and the Marines, they're getting caught up shooting this pylon. They're being kind of stupid, right? Like, you grab these and you try to A-move them. They're just like, oh, there's a building. I'll shoot that. So we're up here on the high ground. There is a mine down here. The Marines giving up their life to try to shoot up that ramp. Oh man, there is more Dragoons than SCVs to repair, but there's still a lot of repairing going on. Don't want to give these away. You don't want to give them away. You want to buy time. Yes, Killa. He found the G spot. Alright, good, nice little shuffle there. And now what we're waiting on from GeForce is Siege. And he did kill that pylon, which did supply block Mini, which is slowing down the production he has here at this proxy location. But Mini's going to be able to get these Dragoons straight up into the main. Probably going to go through here, kill these SCVs, and start running right up inside the main base. Here we go. Please don't stay down in the buildings. There we go. He's going straight up. He's going to start killing these SCVs. A big SCV pull. What's the reaction on the front line? Oh, they're chilling. How well can these SCVs fight these Dragoons? Mini putting all of his attention towards microing these. 4 more Dragoons being warped in at each of his gateways. This might be enough for Mini. We've dipped down to 17 SCVs. The production is out of control. GeForce can't get up that ramp just yet. We might see a desperation push. We're out of mines too, which might be one of the big ways you could try to break through this. We do have Siege though. Oh, the floating barracks gonna see the proxy. This is one of those moments where you just look at the minimap and you're like, damn it. That's what happens. Alright, we do have a tank here though, but it needs to start getting repaired. It's gonna go down so quick. One more shot. Oh, that was a Dragoon miss. Oh my gosh, if he was able to get one more shot off on that Dragoon and start repairing, he might have been able to hold that with no additional casualties. Just sit there, clog up this ramp, and just rain death from above. But these Dragoons are going to come in here. We're down to 11 SCVs. Not a good day for anybody involved except for Mini, who's having a great time. Having to evacuate the front. GeForce throws in the towel. GG. Mini takes game number 1. That was badass, man. All right, let's go ahead and update our handy-dandy scorecard. All right, so Mini is up 1-0 over GeforceTesla, and that's going to bring us into game number 2. This one's going to be on Eclipse. So both players coming out the gate with the aggressive plays, not screwing around. They're like, I want to do 2-fac. And, well, I guess he didn't even do 2-fac. He just did like a 1-fac push. 1-tank push. Alright, anyway, here we are on Eclipse. We got Minirennac, our red Protoss up in the top right. We've got GeForce, GeforceTesla, our blue Terran, here in the bottom left. And what we just saw from Minirennac was the courage to do a proxy 4-gate. It was sweet. It was excellent, and it worked. We'll see if we see more shenanigans coming from Mini during this game. Ah, delicious. Alright, Pylon gets dropped here at the natural. Minirennac can be sending his probe immediately afterwards. Same old, same old. Got a supply depot going down. All that jazz. Now, I'm curious if he's going to throw down a gateway. Looks like that's what the plan is. Indeed. Gas steal, gas steal, gas steal, the gas steal! Oh my gosh. If I was GeForce and I just played that proxy matchup into a gas steal, I'd be so pissed. I'd be so mad. This bro being nice and slippery does end up getting out after plopping down the assimilator. So we've seen in other casts this gas steal on Eclipse happen a good amount of times. Generally what we see happen is we don't really start fighting the assimilator until like a Marine comes out. We generally see a Zealot find their way up here into the main for the early pressure. And then we go into like a 2-gate or 2-fact build, right? So like once this is annihilated with about 4 to 5 SCVs, 1 to 2 Marines, go into 2 factories, double machine shop, get about 5 tanks, maybe a couple vultures, and then push across the map with everything you've got in some SCVs. So we'll see if that's the play that occurs here from GeForce. Now, got the gas steal. We know that that's going to delay factory timing by about, 2-ish minutes at least. Oh no. Okay, there's the supply depot. I was concerned GeForce forgot the second depot with all the shenanigans. It does seem like it's a bit late. Okay, Zealot's going to come down here. He's not going to waste time delaying the depot. He's going to come over here, though, and start hitting this SCV, building the command center. Oh, man. The SCV survives. Another one gets in the way. These Marines, the heavy APM requirements to hold off an A-moving Zealot is absurd, but GeForce is making it look easy, getting a ton of damage on this Zealot. Oh, but the SCV blocks his own Marine. Now we have 1 Marine running around. No Marines being produced. Okay, we just identified that. We're getting them back up and running. Another SCV goes down, but this Zealot almost dead. Nice little body block to finish him off. Okay, so we got a bunker going down here at the natural. We are going for an early expansion. Now we do need to still kill this assimilator. So we've opted not to take many SCVs off the line, just bringing 1, couple of Marines. And what is this? Mini! Have you no honor? Oh, Protoss can do anything. Alright, so we have another proxy play. This time, DTs. Oh, such a good follow-up. It's such a good follow-up because, like, generally, you can catch players not adequately preparing for detection when they feel as far behind as they often do after a after a gas deal. Yeah, Fire Tip, you're right. The only honor is winning. Okay, but this does get identified. And so he's going to send his Marines, and I think that's a good call because you know there's not much army out on the board if he's spending all this cash to get this up. Now, there's something funny he can do here. He could kill this pylon. This is the artosisest of artosis pylons. Now, is he going to be able to kill it fast enough? This thing's going down pretty dang quick. 2/3 of the DT here. I want to see where it's at when this pylon falls. Oh my gosh. Disgusting. We got a bunch of useless ass Protoss buildings here serving as decoration and a single Dragoon. That SCV roaming the map just kept G-Force in this game. Not only that, it did supply block Mini as well. Single Dragoon coming up here shouldn't have a chance of winning this fight. Oh, but he did get a DT out up here. Oh man, there is a turret. There's only 3 Marines in this bunker. I think that's enough. G-Force. Oh, I thought he was going to block right there, but he's not. We'll see if this DT can survive. Oh, it does, and he gets into the mineral line. He's going to start slashing and dashing all across these SCVs. One goes down. Oh man, but there's enough Marines here to get rid of this. Oh, but he sneaks it through. This dude's like 1 SCV hit away from death, though. This SCV's gonna try. Oh, but he doesn't. He needs to kill this turret. He kills this turret, and it's like GG almost. Oh, but the DT dies. The second one following up. The old 1-2 punch. All the Templar tech is going down, though. Building more gateways in the main. You know, honestly, I was just about to say that. If he sends a DT over here, he could actually follow it up with a probe and reconstitute this production. But he does lose the Citadel as well. Oh my goodness. Alright, so the DT is going to save the the gateways. And we're getting our second factory up. Okay, so everything's kind of stabilized. Protoss getting their second base up. I would say Mini's pretty behind right now. He went pretty all in on that move. You can see he has, he cut probes to do so. He's only at 19 probes. A couple unpowered gateways. Lost a lot of buildings. He's got some DTs out, but Terran's pretty good with detection once scanners start hitting the field. And it seems like most of the base is also covered by missile turrets pretty well. We're going up to 3 factories right now. Full mining on 2 gas. Single machine shop. Oh, we're going to 4 factories. Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, I'm liking this for G-Force. After holding the DT pressure and really catching it with that SCV. That was the pivotal moment of this game. Right? If you're playing Protoss, you just got to look everywhere. Especially after a gas steal. Now, nothing coming out of these factories just yet. We do have a single tank. Some random person's inviting me to play Minecraft, which I don't play on Xbox. So that's the notification you're hearing. Alright, Templar Archives back up in the main base. Cybernetics Core getting Dragoon range. Supplies still staying relatively even. Yeah, I think we're in a period where both players are going to have to power up here for a second. They've been operating at pretty low eco and trying to win a lot of just like tactical fights. So they got to rebuild their forces. We have 4 Marines in the bunker, a couple of Vultures. Now we do have a robotics facility being thrown down by our Protoss player. And we also have an armory going down for our Terran. Ooh, this has been rebuilt. Where'd that probe go? Oh, okay. So probe did come down over here and at the 9 o'clock position threw down another pylon. Repowered, baby. DT's slashing. Oh my gosh. Uh-oh. Okay, needs to be careful not to get too close to that turret. If he does, these tanks are going to just blast him. Loses 1 DT. Does the other one survive? It does not! Timely scan ends up clearing the map of DTs. Now these vultures are going to try to break this, but maybe not enough at the moment. So content with dropping a few mines and at least keeping these forces here for now. Or at least blowing up on some zealots. The best mine clearers in the game. Alright, more mines being spread out. GeForce doing everything he can to get back out on the map, get some presence, get some vision, get some satisfaction. Oh, here we go. Almost kills that Dragoon. That's okay, we got mine clears. Go forth, zealots, and clear thy mine. Every time, it's great. Okay, this is completely undefended at this point, but there's still just not much of an army. It is starting to get a little bit scary, though, for GeForce. GeForce is macroing well. He has a lot of SCVs. He's starting to pump out on 5 factories, going up to a 6th at the moment. Meanwhile, for Protoss, continuing with the Dragoon production, and starting to tech up a little bit. Starting to get observers. He already has an observatory. I feel like this was actually probably an accident. Facility, more gateways, and getting a 3rd base. I see a CC being built somewhere. There we go. Okay, so command center is being built for GeForce, and he's also going to be killing this pylon again. And it looks like Mini is okay with that. Okay, Terran army's getting a little big. Mini a little bit behind on getting this 3rd base up and having the production and the army size to hold this back. But GeForce also playing conservatively, and I feel like this is a result of, like, as a Terran player, when you get gas stolen and then the game continues for a hot minute and you have these proxies and DTs hitting you from all over the place, it never feels like you're ahead. So I feel like he's definitely playing from a position of caution and may not have a solid read on how superior his army is at the moment. Okay, so the proxies are going to go down. Not a whole lot of Dragoons here. Mini trying to get as many as he can out on the field, trying to up his production, going up to 6 gateways, a Stargate, hello, and an Arbiter Tribunal. And it all gets scanned. Not like that. Right off the rip. So he doesn't see the Stargate. Well, I guess maybe he did. But he definitely saw the Arbiter Tribunal. Okay, we're going to finish off killing this proxy. And you can see here the Terran ground force just eating up the map right now. And he looks like he's going to be heading up towards the 12 o'clock. Now, if I click this correctly again. Yeah, I think he had scanned that 12 o'clock position. We have a small contingent of Dragoons and an observer roaming the map. Kind of looks like a mine clearing squad. Might be getting set up to take a 4th. But this attack looks like it might be absolutely devastating for a Protoss player. It's going to depend a lot on these mines, because this is a pretty big flanking maneuver. If he can drag these mines into these tanks, that would be huge. Unfortunately, not able to, but does get right on top of them. And a lot of these tanks are going down. Dragoons everywhere. Really kind of an unfortunate advance there from Terran. I feel like that army could have and should have done a lot more damage. But this just put Mini back in the game. Ooh! Ooh! Goon juice everywhere! That mine was devastating. Alright, we got some Goliaths out on the field. Looks like GeForce trying to get a strong point up here on the high ground. Looks like a mines over here. Keeping an eye out on the expansions on the lower half of the map. More scans. What's he scanning? Alright, he scanned out front here. He sees all this. Scanned himself. He's going to kill this observer. Beautiful. Okay, now Mini's starting to look pretty decent when it comes to production. That engagement out here was absolutely enormous for him. GeForce remaining active on the map. Gonna kill this pro probably. Yeah. But Mini is taking a 4th base. Has his observer out here out front. Sees that the army is still parked, chilling. Oh, but he ends up canceling all of this. Probably could have kept it alive. It takes like 18,000 shots from a vulture to kill a Nexus. Maybe at least wait. Force the Terran to commit their army up here. This is going to drive the Terran nuts. So the Terran sees that morphing or warping in, they're going to be like, ah, really want to send something? So you might be able to split the army that way. All right, slowly advancing from GeForce. Let's go ahead and take a check on things. Let's take stock of our position while no one's fighting. We have an F-ton of tanks. Good. We got 3 machine shops. We're sitting at 7 factories. We have a starport, science facility. When it comes to upgrades, we're sitting at 1-0, going up to 1-1 right now. For the Protoss, we're sitting at 0-0 upgrades. We've got 6 gateways, 7 gateways. And we're getting our 2nd Arbiter, and the first one just hit the field. Now, a lot of scans have just been depleted. But the one big thing I don't like about this for Mini is that they're on equal base count. The 3 base count to 3 base count, I feel like favors the Terran and the production setup that he's got right now. Now, Stasis, I think, just finished researching. But this natural spread that he has going on here is looking pretty good. That would be a juicy Stasis. Oh, that'd be real juicy. Num 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 num. Got a bunch of zealots. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We're moving in. GeForce. He's had enough. Started to place a ton of mines here. The tank's opening up some volleys. Here comes the Stasis. Oh, wait, no. Does he not have enough energy? Oh, no. All right, big scan coming down on top of all the units that were able to charge up on top of the tanks. The Goliaths opening volleys on this Arbiter. Are they going to kill before the Stasis? Okay, Stasis goes off. Unfortunately, only catches a few Goliaths. And it's just an ocean of goon legs. Oh, man. Terran just has so much right now. Up by 60 supply. The tanks are closing in on the natural. The Arbiter went down. The economy for both players, pretty healthy, but that's going to be it. That's going to be it. GG, and that's going to give GeforceTesla the map win. That's going to bring us to 1-1. Oh, Billy. I am sweating. It's either from being sick, this coat thing I'm wearing, or just the pure, raw, natural excitement of these matches. Probably a combination of all 3, really. All right, game 3. It's going to be on Polypoid. All right, here we go. GeForce Terran on Polypoid, 4-player map, blue Terran, bottom right. Bottom left, red Protoss, goes by Minirennac. We've seen 2 games from Minirennac against GeForce, and both of those games have had wild proxies. The first one, proxy DT, and then the second one went into a gas steal and was in another proxy. Actually, the first game wasn't proxy DT, was it? It was like proxy 3-gate. The second one was proxy DT. So yeah, I like the guess. I like the guess fire tip. This game we're going to see proxy reverb. I just want to see 1 base carrier rush. That's what I want to see. 1 base carrier rush up against BBS. Alright, same old, same old. Pylon, supply depot. The exciting first minute of a game. But you know what? I wouldn't give up this first minute of the game for nothing. I think StarCraft 2, I think, personally, this is a hot take, I think. But I think that when they increased the worker count, it took away from the early game. I don't mind the early game taking a second to set up. I feel like there's more branches of decision making that can occur. And it's really fun like watching this game with other people. If you watch people playing, like you're playing Marbles or King of the Hill or something, the amount of analysis and speculation that people have on like the first minute of the game is hilarious. They're like, oh, that player's split was bad. They're dead. That pylon was placed here. Not here. Dead. So much fun. Alright, standard opening here from GeForce. Now his scouting is a little bit unstandard though. He is going straight for a cross position scout. So a little bit up in the air in where he'll go next in order to get a first scout. Now if this SCV leaves this cross position and runs into this probe, then there might be a world where he can get an early tip-off. Is he going to build something in the middle? No. That was weird, right? He came up here. I don't know if there's like standard proxy locations or something, but then he redirected down here to the bottom right. And he's going to be able to catch GeForce's base. All right, now meanwhile, GeForce heading off to the second incorrect location. Oh, you forgot what map it was. Yeah, you probably were thinking like, oh, this is Neo Sylphid. I'll go up here to the 12 o'clock or something. All right, probe ends up bebopping back. Actually, okay, yeah, so spotted the Terran base. We've got gas still, okay? So potential 2-fact from GeForce. Dragoon range. Okay, yeah, this is like as standard can be. Yeah, and he's not doing 2-fact yet. Forget what supply it's normally on. Probably around like 26, I think. We'll give it a second, see if a second one gets thrown down. Looks like it. No! eBay. Okay, so he's... The gas and the eBay timing is throwing me off just a little bit. So I'm curious about this. We'll see what happens. He's going straight into tank. Probably going to get the eBay, throw down a turret, get an expansion. It's just really early, which is throwing me off. Looks like we're a little supply blocked at the moment as well for GeForce. Okay, there's the supply depot going down at the front. Okay, cool. All right, we have an expansion going down for Mini. Another pylon here at the natural choke point. Got a bunch of SCVs running around. And you know why? Because Mini proxied the last 2 games. And this is why cheese is so awesome. Especially if you play each other often, right? If you get a little bit of a reputation, or there's replays that are shown to you during prep phase, or whatever the case is, where you're a cheeser in some form, players have to respect that, right? Like, they either have to pick a build that is very anti-cheese, or they have to, you know, introduce lost mining time or whatever to go exploring, just to make sure they don't die. And when there's no cheese in sight, then that's just pure benefit for Minirennac in this situation. So 3 gateways, Robo. Alright, we're starting the Dragoon dance here, but the Siege Tank's already available and sieged up on the high ground. That's going to push these Dragoons back. And we do have the expansion getting set up here for GeForce. I might not have time to do the last series. I'll double check how long the matches are. But I might have to get to that one later, which sucks, because I wanted to cast that one. All right, here we go. All right, so Protoss going to go up here and take their third. Meanwhile, GeForce has really been on heavy tank production. Like, is there even Marines in here? Yeah, there is a few Marines. Got 3 tanks. Going up to a third factory now. He's getting mines. Lots of Dragoons. Okay, so both players just powering up. Now we have observers out on the field. And we didn't have early vultures running around. We went straight into tanks. So there's no mines for this observer to identify, but the observer is going to come in here and it's going to identify that there's 3 factories, 2 of which with add-ons. 4 factories. So definitely looking for a big push here. He might push after 5, 6 tanks are out. And start rallying vultures out to meet the force. We'll see. Because he doesn't have an armory, so there's no like upgrade timing that he's looking for. Oh! 1 health observer. That's on your bingo card. Tag Anderson. Alright, we're at 10 Dragoons. Takes 8 to one-shot a tank. Got a bunch of tanks. Missile turrets. Really kind of turtling up here for our Terran player. We are getting an academy somewhere. There it is. Going to have those scans up and available. And here we go. Here's the Stargate. Okay, and we're getting Templar tech. So I think we're going to be seeing Arbiters again. And we're going up to 6 gateways. Big probe transfer. Yeah, right now both players really just powering up. Not a whole lot of fighting has occurred at all this game. Aside from the Dragoons coming up, getting a couple shots on this bunker, and then just getting pushed away by the siege tanks. Not a whole lot of fighting. Now it does look like GeForce is about ready to start pushing out. But it kind of looks like GeForce is positioning himself to take a third as opposed to push across the map. We'll see if that's the case or not. Getting organized. Okay. Okay, he's getting his units all together. Third base is up. It's walled off. We're at 7 gateways. Whatever happened to pwned? Like the trash talk word? I haven't heard anyone say pwned in a long time. You should bring it back, Killa. I'll bring it back with you. Yeah, see, it looks like he's just coming up here to secure a third base. Now, he sent the vultures out to get an idea of what was out in front of him. I don't think he's comfortable or confident yet to attack into this amount of Dragoons. He does slip out one of the vultures. Identifies the third base, which I don't think is a surprise, right? I think the next thing he wants to check is see if this is if this expansion was taken, and maybe start kind of poking around and seeing if there's any others. Ooh. Okay, it looks like GeForce might be trying to take the high road here and maybe attack this third base from the top. Or at least avoid that big bulk of Dragoons that's hanging out on the high ground there at the right here. We'll see how this goes. Needless to say, securing the middle is pretty effective, something you definitely want to do, but the thing is that there's not a whole lot back home, right? So there is always a risk of kind of the 2 ships passing in the night, but that's okay. That's not going to happen here as we have the engagement starting. Some mines get thrown down, a couple volleys from the tanks, but no deaths as of yet, really. But now Mini is tipped off that the Terran force is cutting him off from his third base and looking to potentially knock it out whack-a-mole style. So gonna need to do something about this. Dragoons are taking some hits, getting aggroed into the fight. And here come the Zealots. Big mine drags. Oh my goodness. That mine had some serious opportunity that wasn't realized. Oh man, these siege tanks are doing so much work on these Dragoons. The entire Protoss army has effectively been schwacked. The rest of it going into the base of GeForce. This is what I was talking about. When he identified that that army was where it was, that means no one's home, right? Now these tanks up top are doing a lot, and honestly that SCV pull to block, body block these Dragoons might have just saved the day for GeForce. Not enough Dragoons here anymore to really do critical damage. Meanwhile, our Terran player over here has kind of sealed off this choke and is working their way up into this third base. A couple cloaked Zealots and an Arbiter are going to be able to clean that up, and the Zealots are going to hold the ramp. Oh my gosh, beautiful. This game just got crazy. Alright, Arbiter's going to start chipping away at these siege tanks. Nothing here shoots up. A lot of scans have been expended too. So if we can cloak these Zealots again, they can get a lot of work done. Oh, there was still a scan available. Okay, the tanks shred the Zealots, and they're going to come up here and start laying waste down to these probes. Oh my gosh, a whole bunch go down in the initial volley. Dragoons are coming up here trying to get work done. Unfortunately, they're not quite under the Arbiter, but here come the probes. Everything's under the Arbiter now, and it doesn't seem like there's any scans available, and all of these tanks are going to fall. But not before getting a good amount of damage done. Now, when it comes to the worker count, Minirennac is still at 48, so not hurting too bad. We've got some little skirmishes happening across the map. We still have the Dragoons hanging out over here as well. Not in a position where they'll see the CC. Okay, but he does move them up, and they see that expansion. He's jumping all over it. It's going to have to get lifted and floated away. And we've got ourselves a game. I actually don't really know who's winning. I think right now Minirennac is ahead. His supply is just absurd compared to GeForce's. But this is a tough nut to crack. Now, he did move the tanks from the high ground, which is a little bit scary. He's got plenty of minerals at the moment. These Zealots running in. Alright, they get knocked out. Still have some Dragoons up here at the third base. I think we definitely have enough as Terran to come up here and secure this high ground. Protoss is reconstituting their army. And there's a recall. Recall is being researched. How's our recall defense at the moment? We have a couple of turrets, but we don't have like mines all over the ground yet. We're still sitting at 5 factories, and we still have not been able to secure that third base. And this third base sucks too. The all mineral bases are so frustrating. Alright, we're going to secure it with some turrets and tanks first before we refloat over our CC. Okay, where are we at? We're at 9 gateways, 10 gateways, building more and more and more arbiters. We're at 1-0 on our Protoss units, and we are at 0-0 for our Terran. We only just recently saw the armory get built. It's somewhere. But we're now going into starports, and we're also getting a 4th command center. So might be seeing that floated up here in the near future. Vultures out on the map, going exploring. We have the 4th base for our Protoss, taking the top left as opposed to the mineral base at the triangle 3rd location. And it looks like we are securing that 3rd base for Terran. So that is up. Now to get it saturated and secured. Oh, baby. Here it comes. Oh, he stopped short. Okay, well, I got really excited. Hey, baby. Oh, here he comes. Take 2. Oh, dear. And there's the recall. One of the main reasons everyone hates Protoss players. And so what's the reaction, right? So SCVs are dying left and right. We're on top of the production. The tanks are getting schwacked as they come out. The one siege tank that was up near the factories gets killed. Another siege tank about to go down. Goliath about to be schwacked. And Mini's all over this. Like, there's units down here, but this is such a discombobulating thing to react to. And Terran units are so stupid at going up ramps. Like, they're trying, right? Like, you see these tanks, they're just like, what? Alright, slowly killing the Dragoons. Meanwhile, up here, ooh, targeting down the armory. This is going to get rid of the ability to build Goliaths. This is going to knock out the ability to get those very valuable upgrades for Terran. Killing some SCVs. Disgusting. Alright, it finally gets cleaned up. But get this. This Arbiter is still fine, and there's nothing that shoots up. It can literally just do another recall on top of all this. Oh, but he stasis it! Now, I wouldn't say that oh, but wait, I was going to say, you need a follow-up to the stasis, and now there's no energy. But fear not. Arbiter number 2 on the way. The recalls! Oh my gosh, this has got to be the most tilting series ever for our Terran player. But like I said, I'm pretty sure GeForce was a Protoss player. Yeah, stasis. Oh, and he stasis the ramp! You called it! Oh my gosh, these giant ice cubes forcing the rest of the Terran army to just watch as everything gets obliterated. Protoss can do anything. Ugh, GG's. That was fun. I can see why it was recommended. Great games. Okay, so that's going to give Minirennac the 2-1 victory over GeForce. Now, okay, this has been going on for quite a while. We're at 2 hours and 11 minutes for this stream. Let me check the Killa Ace match. If it's the one I'm thinking of, we're gonna have to skip it. It's actually not the one I'm thinking of, but it's still really long. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I'm still gonna have to skip this one. Unfortunately, I will try to. I'll put this one. I'll bookmark this one, and on the next request, we'll do it. But it is a significantly longer series than the rest of them. The SKU match, yeah, that was the one I thought we were gonna cast. And for those that are unaware, like that replay should probably be tossed around. Killa vs. Grast faced off in Starcraft Underground, and one of the games was bananas. Like, it came down to a league administrator. I had to adjudicate it. Right? There was like no minerals left on the map, almost no units, and freaking there was a disconnect, and they didn't want the draw because it was very close to a draw. It was absolutely insane, and it had an enormous audience live. That's why I don't feel too bad about spoiling some of it, because there was like 15 people in the Discord just watching. It was nuts. So anyway, we're gonna call it there. So we'll go ahead and do the anthem, and I'll find someone to raid. We'll send you off, and you know, just final plug. If you have a Prime sub or would like to support StarCraft Underground in any way and keep these money tournaments going, please feel free to do so. It's been a lot of fun being able to pay players for the hard work and practice that they put in. And then for CPL, it's coming to an end. Hopefully everyone's had a phenomenal season. I know I've had a really bad season playing, but casting these games has been a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and do the CPL anthem, and we'll go raid somebody. Fingering. Handheld is no joke.
Winners rise and losers fall.
Gotta do all your fingering stretches. Jazzy. You ever see those people that put light gloves on their hands and like dance? Alright, y'all. Thanks for watching. Let's find someone to raid. Let's see who's cool and out there. Oh, no, I want to do this. So, who is cool and out there? We've got Urbmon, always a good time. We've got 80s Mullet. We got DeWalt. And I don't know who the rest of them are. Okay, so no CPLers. I guess Urbmon counts as a CPLer. We'll send you to Urbmon again. Make sure you say hi. He's been grinding. He actually was playing Terran the last time I saw him. Doesn't look like that's what he's doing right now. But we'll go ahead and raid Urbmon. So, 8 seconds. We'll send you off. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you had a good time. And raid. See you.